My girlfriend got upset when I told her to buy new clothes. She didn't like my reason.
Are you going to pay for them? If that's not happening, then
why are you even saying anything? I'm 23, finishing my last year for my master's. My girlfriend, Sarah, is 20 from the same university. Her parents are abusive and they all grew up dirt poor. By the way, this comes from Consistent Outcome 8. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, Sarah is very beautiful. With no clothes on, she's literally the sexiest thing alive to me.
all right.
Whoa. The problem lies in the addendum with clothes on. She dresses like an effing homeless person. You're the a-hole. Her clothes are all tattered with holes in them and worn out. They don't fit properly, and most of her outfits just plainly look ridiculous. She would wear red on red and look like an effing period stain. She gets them from the local Goodwill because it's the only thing she can afford. It's the only thing she can afford. Perhaps we can use our brains. I'm genuinely embarrassed sometimes when she accompanies me to dates because I scratch my head thinking how someone so beautiful can show up looking so ugly. She doesn't have money!
Oh my God.
My parents and friends have commented on it too. Heck, just last weekend when we went to the pool, my mom said, "Wow, I didn't know your girlfriend was actually pretty." It's because she wore a plain bathing suit the whole time. I mentioned the abuse thing because I feel like at some point growing up, her parents had to have been negligent to let their child leave the house looking like that. My parents are upper middle class. Because I got enough scholarships to go to school for basically free, my parents decided to give me $50,000 as a graduation gift that I never touched. I decided, hey, maybe I should help my girlfriend look presentable. So I gave her a $5,000 gift card for Macy's for our 1-year anniversary yesterday and told her that she can use it for a shopping spree. She was very grateful, but said she couldn't accept it. I'm sorry, I probably wouldn't accept $5,000.
Yeah.
That's insane. I would be so uncomfortable. She was very grateful, but said she couldn't accept it. She gave me a watch and a card, which I loved and am very appreciative of. I asked her why not, and she said it was too much. I told her it was just as much a gift for me as it was for her. And when she asked me to elaborate, I basically admitted that her clothes make her look like a homeless person and wanted to teach her how to dress and give her a new wardrobe.
Okay, part of me, obviously terrible thing to say. Part of me is really excited for like the 2000s montage of like shopping spree that could happen. Hate how it came up.
See, if this were in early 90s rom-com, but you're also you're enemies to lovers, like you're not in a relationship, but you're enemies to lovers,
you're like somehow assigned,
you're fake dating or something,
like you're somehow assigned to like help this girl out in some sort of weird program,
and you're like, oh girl, you really need a makeover. She actually got really offended at me and we had a huge fight. She accused me of finding her unattractive, which is absolutely not true. She just can't dress. And told me if I just wanted a trophy girl to look at, find someone else.
Yeah, period. Good on her for saying that. Yeah.
I tried to be as sympathetic as I could, but frankly, I was pissed off by her reaction. I didn't even put the onus on her to buy new clothes. I gave her $5,000 to buy a whole new wardrobe, and she reacts like this? You are so out of touch, it's shocking.
Oh my goodness.
It was very inconsiderate, over-the-top reaction, especially considering I'm the one paying for it. My friends all agree with me that what she did was over the top, but my sister said she was probably embarrassed in the way I went about it, and I was being a clown. At least your sister can have a little bit of sense. I truly don't see how I'm in the wrong at all in this situation. So Reddit, help me understand. Am I the a-hole for offering to pay for a brand new wardrobe? We're about to witness a level of evisceration that we don't often see in Reddit stories.
Yeah, or at least we see it sometimes, but this is the most justified.
Oh boy, I'm excited. Oh boy, I'm excited to let you get eviscerated. Relevant comments. Black and shredded. You're the a-hole 100% unequivocally. LMFAO, you compared her to a period stain?
Yeah.
The way you speak about her is appalling, but I'm not surprised by how self-absorbed person and egotistical you come off in your post. You fail to see why your girlfriend's feelings might be hurt. Take a step back, think of productive ways to address the problem, and stop acting like an effing tool. OP says, I didn't compare her to a period stain to her face. I was just saying that to emphasize how bad she's at dressing up and how bad her clothes are. I truly think the people saying you're the a-hole just don't realize how bad she dresses. I get shat on all the time. It's not like, wow, she should probably choose a different outfit. It's more like, what the F? Why is she wearing dresses with giant holes in them with tattered shoes that don't get together?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Kurian says, you're the a-hole. Did it never occur to you that maybe she likes her clothes? OP. She literally wears clothes with holes and admits she has absolutely no fashion sense. I've had 4 different friends on different occasions ask me why she's wearing what she's wearing. For example, one time we went on a fancy dinner date and she wore a tattered red dress shirt 3 sizes too big with a skirt with polka dots and looked just silly. I sound blunt, rude in my post, but I'm trying to emphasize just how bad she dresses. Kurian says, so that's a no. You can't imagine that she might actually like the clothes she's chosen. Opie says, no, she doesn't love dirty, dingy clothes with holes in it. If anything, she might be too prideful to take money from me, but why would anyone like old, tattered up, dingy, discolored clothes? She might like her style, but the quality of clothing is atrocious. Korean, I know people who like wearing dirty things with holes in them. You've talked about what you think about her clothes. You talked about what your parents think about her clothes. You talked about what your friends think about her clothes, but you don't seem to know or care what she thinks about her clothes. That's why you're the a-hole. Any response other than, I previously asked her and she said she didn't like her clothes just makes you worse. Honestly, even if she said she didn't like her clothes, you're still the a-hole.
Yeah.
I'm
absolutely.
sorry. Offering someone $5,000 and telling them that, insulting how they dress.
Yeah.
Again, for a person who can't afford to buy better clothes, you are the a-hole automatically.
Yeah, like if this was something where it was like, you know, she expressed a lot of curiosity or like excitement about clothes, but she just couldn't afford it and she like really wanted to, you know, shop here and there or whatever, and then you gave her this gift card because of that would be super nice. Still a lot.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're just like, yeah, please spend my money. Please spend $5,000 of my money so that you don't embarrass me in public. It's like, get over yourself.
Oh my God.
Get over yourself.
Edit, I got a few comments already that I only mentioned looks, so I'm the a-hole. But why the heck would I mention things like how much I love when she kisses my cheek when she thinks I'm asleep? Or that when she goes to the store and asks if I want anything and I say no, she'll still pick up something small just because. Or the fact that we communicate amazingly and for the most part never have any major conflicts or any other non-appearance looking attribute. It just wasn't relevant to the station at hand. Edit, I want to reiterate, I'd be fine with her shopping at Goodwill if she bought clothes that made her look presentable. I'm just saying her fashion sense is atrocious, mixed with the fact that she does tend to buy dingy clothes that tend to get rips, holes in it easily. She never replaces her clothes, so she wears years-old hand-me-down clothes with horrible fashion sense, so she looks silly. I know me continuously reiterating just how silly she looks makes me sound like an a-hole, but I literally get people commenting on her fashion sense. Literal strangers comment on it. She looks genuinely ridiculous, and I don't know how to emphasize just how bad she dresses without sounding like a tool. Last edit, I genuinely don't think people understand the extent, so I'm gonna list some experience I've had with her dressing like she does. The one I've mentioned in the OP, my mom, when she said, I didn't think she was actually pretty. I was hanging with some friends and some strangers, and when my girlfriend went to the bathroom, a stranger said, it looks like she just came from panhandling.
So here's the moment where you think to
up.
yourself, hey, I love my girlfriend. I still think she's beautiful. I don't care what she wears. I don't care what strangers think. That's what you say. That's what you say in that situation. Not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe a random person thinks my girlfriend was panhandling. That's not what you say.
I've had a stranger ask if we had a costume convention we're going to. On 2 different occasions, I've had young children comment. The first said, why do you look so funny? And the second said, why do you dress so strange? I've had multiple different friends on multiple different occasions ask why she dresses so eccentrically. It's not just me acting like a wiener or being shallow. It's a genuine problem. No, it's not. But I will say that she doesn't purposely ruin her clothes. I'm certain she either is just unaware of how she dresses. A couple of abuse victims commented and said it was likely because they were mistreated and they share similar experiences as my girlfriend. Her wearing bad clothes isn't a fashion statement. I'm pretty sure she's just unaware. Verdict, a-hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is an update. Edit, we have since talked about the problem and it's pretty much resolved. So I finally talked to my girlfriend, she's with me right now. Before I had a chance to apologize, she burst out crying. When she finally stopped, she was able to open up. Apparently her parents were extremely abusive, even worse than I originally thought. Up until she was 18, she only had one outfit, just one. Her parents had a ton of weird, oddly specific ways to control their children. Like, for example, they tried to force her to be right-handed because she was lefty, or they made her only take cold showers for mental fortitude. When she finally got from her parents' control, she had no idea how to dress. So she went to Goodwill and just bought a bunch of colorful clothes that looked neat. She had absolutely no experience in dressing herself, and she never really felt like she should ask. She just assumed one shirt, one pant equals one outfit, regardless of the color, size, wear, tear, etc. When I pointed out her style was strange, she got extremely defensive because she was never confronted with this before. She thought her sense of style was average, and when in previous attempts I tried to subtly bring up to wear a different outfit, she just thought that outfit was bad. When I explicitly said in general her style was bad, she just felt completely embarrassed. We're going shopping tomorrow and buying her a bunch of new clothes. I apologized for not bringing it up more tactfully, and she insisted it was okay, and she probably wouldn't have gotten the hint if I kept beating around the bush. But we don't want to beat around the bush with you, because you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit more left to the story. I guess I'm glad that you guys worked it out. Yeah, my advice for you, OP, is to work on how you talk to people.
Absolutely. Because even from like the beginning,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't some sort of like, you know, thing about the clothes being, you know, tattered and torn and like cheap clothes or something like that, even if it was just genuinely she wanted to wear red on red and wanted to look like a period stain, because no, like I'm so for like experimenting with your clothes. Just wear what you want, because that's fun, especially if she has no like outer influences. I know like there's all of this stuff in her past which just emphasizes the problem, but even if that wasn't the case and she just genuinely didn't pay attention to it before, just genuinely didn't have like trends pushed on her and stuff like that, then that's even better that she has this like just creative like mind of just being like, oh yeah, these colors look great, I like these colors, so I want to put them together and I want to wear them.
That's such a great point, because I feel like finding, as someone who like I grew up going to Catholic school and wearing a uniform all the time, when I started wearing my own clothes and picking out my own outfits and stuff, it started off like probably not great.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I've started figuring out what my style was.
Absolutely.
And I would say like sometimes I do dress a little bit more like eccentrically, or, you know, not trendily, and because I like it, and I like dressing kind of, you know, I love colors, I love patterns, and it's like you're figuring out your own style. Yeah. And just because it's not, you know, trendy or something, or what other people think that you should wear, who cares? Thank you for the people who tactfully told me I was the a-hole, and thanks to the others who took my concerns seriously, besides just completely dismissing me because they personally hadn't had my experience. Black and Shredded comes back with another relevant comment. I read through all OP's replies and edits, and I decided to change my judgment. According to OP, he gets countless people comment on his girlfriend's appearance, including having people be genuinely surprised when not in clothing, had complete strangers comment and say it looks like she came from panhandling, had young children comment, children are brutally honest, had many people comment and ask, I don't think I'm particularly materialistic, but if that many people are commenting about her clothing choice, something is wrong. If one person did, then he's an a-hole. If three, they're the a-hole. But that many, I'm starting to think you may have a point in being embarrassed. You didn't approach it the best, but that can be blamed on your autism. Being autistic doesn't completely absolve you, but at the end of the day, you were trying to do a nice thing and just went about it completely terribly. I can't in good conscience keep my previous judgment. I do recommend talking to her, obviously, but you said you plan to later. Good luck. I hope everything turns out well. What you gonna do when I think the responses to this aren't fair. Just because you didn't see ahead what some criticisms were going to be doesn't mean that your responses aren't true. Reddit loves a bandwagon. I don't agree with these comments. I also don't think they're fair because I believe you wrote your post more harshly than you probably presented to her. But Reddit assumes the worst in that situation. Okay, well, Reddit seems to have turned around on the last post.
Interesting.
I don't agree, but, you know, I'm glad that OP, you know, seemed to have come to some sort of realization.
Yeah, glad they talked it out. Glad, you know, they can figure it out. But definitely
work
not
on your
the way
tact.
to go about
Work
it.
on your tact.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't just hand out $5,000 to people and then be like, why won't they take them? Aren't they grateful?
And that's kind of like really condescending, especially since you
So
want her to
condescending.
change.
Yeah,
the
you
style to be
directly
less
want her to
embarrassing.
change because you're embarrassed of her.
Yeah, that's extremely condescending.
Yeah.
Patronizing.